Good morning. It's Lisa with Lisa Heal Yourself, and today we're out just doing a little walk and talk. I've been thinking a lot lately about illness, chronic illness, and our response to the heaviness, to the darkness, to the symptoms, to the sensations, to the grief, to the helplessness, to the hopelessness, to the heavy energies and emotions and feelings that arise from chronic illness. And while it's true, we always must take aligned action with who we truly are in order to make changes, in order to become the healed version or the newer version of ourselves. What is really true at the heart of any crisis or problem or dark night of the soul or illness, or even we could say, war going on throughout the world. Whether this is a deeply personal battle that we are facing or whether it is something that's humanity at large is facing. And that is, who do we become? Who do we become as we navigate our way through challenges that are bigger than us? And that's really what it always all comes down to. Sometimes something has happened and there's no going back from it, right? We have led ourselves down a road of chronic illness, and our body is in the state that it's in, or even the world at large. We have led ourselves, down the path of hate, and now there is a war. So whatever you're facing, whatever the challenge, whatever the overwhelming circumstances, we've led ourselves here through our beliefs and our actions, and ultimately we come to a point where we are seeing the mirror reflection of all our past choices, of all our past thoughts and beliefs, and here we are living in the place that we don't want to be, in this unbelievably dark challenge that we don't know how to overcome. When we're talking about chronic illness, a lot of us are in a battle, in an inner war between our mind and our heart and our soul and our body, and we are at odds with what is happening. And the question always becomes, who are we? Who are we and why are we here? Right? Who are we and why are we here? And when we keep this question in mind for any problem, whether it's a personal problem or a worldwide problem, and we can ask ourselves, who are we and why are we here? And when we can accept the challenge that is in front of us for what it is, when we can bless it, meaning we see it for what it is, we bless it, we acknowledge its existence, we see and we look deeply into the hurts, into the darkness, into the fear, into the pain, into the suffering, which we never want to do. Whether this is on a personal scale or a worldwide scale, we want to avoid the suffering. We want to look away from the suffering. We want to deny it or fight it, right? Fight its existence. And when we accept it, when we bless it, because we know it's a mere reflection of history, of the past catching up and accumulating in this present moment, we know that it is here through our own doing, through our personal doing, and through the doing of humanity. We know that this is why it's here. And when we can bless it and face it head on, when we can look deeply into it, witness it, observe it, and love it for what it is, we can ask ourselves, who am I? Why am I here? What is this meant to teach me? What is this moment in time meant to teach me? And who am I going to become? And if we can ask ourselves, who am I going to become? Then all the actions that we take, all the aligned actions that we take, are in response to who we truly believe we are and who we want to navigate our way back to, right? The soul is love, and the soul wants to navigate back to love. And if we can start to align all our actions through love, with love, for the purpose of love, or even if we have to become a great warrior within our own life, the actions don't matter. It's who we are behind the actions. Who are we? Why are we taking these actions? And who do we want to become? What is the value behind this action? And how does it contribute to more love within and more love without? And when we take actions from love, with love, we are always overcoming. So when you have chronic illness and you're choosing a diet, or you're choosing to rest, or you're choosing to exercise, are you choosing out of fear? Are you choosing out of scarcity? Are you choosing out of desperation? Or are you choosing because this is what you align with? This is who you are. This is what you want to become. Are you choosing out of love, a greater, higher love for yourself? Are you choosing out of love for your family? Are you choosing out of love for yourself, for your soul, for the world at large, for this planet? Who are we going to let these tough times mold us into? Who are we going to let them become? Are we going to be bitter? Are we going to be sad? Are we going to begin to take action out of hate, out of fear, out of revenge, out of desperation? Or are we going to remember who it is and what it is that we are, and who it is and what it is that we desperately want to become? And are we going to take actions from this place? Let the challenge unfold through the eyes of love, through the eyes of becoming more, of expanding, of becoming more of who we are, and expanding into more of who we can be, and more of who we were always meant to be, and more of who the world has always meant to be. Because it's the beliefs and values behind the actions that we take that we're really shaping as we take the actions. We're creating our identity. We're creating who it is that we are and who it is that we're becoming with every action that we take. While it's easy to take aligned action when times are good, when your health is good, when you have good circumstances, when your relationships are good, when the world at large is, living in peace, it's easy to take actions out of love, to take actions out of who you are and who you want to be. But it's not so easy when we're faced with fear and uncertainty and desperation and suffering and pain, because we desperately want to turn away from those things. We desperately want to ignore them, or pretend they're not happening, or disown them, or reject them, or change them, or try to fix them, or fight against them. And this is human nature. But when we can accept them, when we can look upon them with the eyes of love and bless them for all our past flaws and all our past beliefs and values that we have taken, that have gotten us precisely to this point, we can begin to rebuild and remember who it is that we are. We come into this world as pure love, as pure conscious love, as pure conscious loving awareness. And we build beliefs and values and walls and fears, and we build this identity that has gotten us to this point in our life. And when we can look at it for what it is, see it for what it is, feel it for what it is, we can begin to dismantle it, to strip it away, and to ask ourselves the fundamental question: who are we? Why are we here? And when we know the answer to that question, we can say, what will I let this make me become? What will I let this illness help me become? What do I want to become? Who am I? And who am I trying to become? Then we know that we are taking aligned actions to grow, to expand, and to be more of who we can be and more of what we are, which is love. And when we can raise our awareness and our vibrations and our aligned actions to this place, and it's hard. It is hard not to take action out of fear or out of anger or out of spite or out of helplessness or out of panic or out of desperation. But why are you doing what you're doing? What is it that you want? And why do you want it? Who are you? And why are you here? And I guarantee that this answer, if thought and pondered on long enough, always is that you are love, and that is who you are trying to get back to. That is who you are trying to be. That is the essence of each soul who comes here to earth. And so challenges are really always here to show us who we are and to help us become what we need to become. And it's through challenges that we can grow and expand and become more of. It's through challenges that sometimes can topple us and crush us, and we become less, and we constrict and we shut down. But it's where the hardest, most difficult challenges lie that we have the opportunity to become more of who we ever could be. And if we keep this in mind as we're going through our challenges, whether they're deeply personal, whether they're based in chronic illness, or whether you're just looking at the world at large right now and everything we're going through, when our goal is to grow and expand through challenges, to become more of who we are, to bring more of what we are to the world, then we have the greatest chance for expansion and growth that we could, because we don't grow and expand through times that aren't challenging, but we always have the opportunity to let these times of struggle and challenge grow us in ways that are beyond what we thought possible. We can become more aligned with who it is that we are, why it is that we're here, and what it is that we want to become. I wish you to keep this in the forefront of the difficult journey you find yourself in. I'm sending you blessings, love, health, peace, and to remember who you are, why you're here, and who it is that you're going to let this struggle help you become. So if you like this video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and I will